Welcome back, everyone, to Artisan Glimmith. This is Key of W, etc., etc. I am going to go bejewel some windows. By some windows, I mean one window, and by one window, I mean this one right here, the non-boxy window. If I can do it all in one video, depends on how hard the puzzles are. We'll give it a shot. I seem to remember liking this area. Let's start with anything that isn't a 7. Let's get 4s out of the way. Non-boxy, precision. All right, cool. Cool. Let me look up here. We got a long stretch in here. We can't have boxiness, right? So if I said there's a wall here, if I said there's a wall here, that's a problem. There can't be a wall there. So we got to put those two together. If I said there's a wall here, now this region is also an eye shape. We can't do that. So that's not a wall. Say there's a wall here, same problem. That's got to go there. But now this piece can't move over because we have a boxy region. So that region is an L. We're done. Let's make it my L color, purple. This one's also an L. That's done. This piece here, whatever it is, has to extend into this direction. Because if it doesn't, we have an I shape. So it's got to go there. Now, if we don't break it here, we have an I shape down there. So we have to make this a Y shape like so. This piece has to be an L shape. Now here we have to have an L shape, but I don't know which way it bends immediately. This has to be an L shape. Got a lot of L shapes here. If we put a wall here, we're screwed. We can't do that, so these two pieces have to go together. If we put a wall here, we're screwed. So these all have to be part of the same unit. If I put a wall here, we're screwed. Can't do that. If I put a wall here, we're screwed. So we have a C shape right there. So got another L, a lot of L shapes today. Just here and there. This is going to be our V shape. This is another L shape. This, there has to be a wall here. If there's not a wall here, we have a problem. So that's got to be there, and this has to be a V shape. This has to be a V shape, means, doesn't mean. This can't move down because now we don't have enough pieces in here. This has to be an N shape, and P shape, T shape, L shape. I think we've got it. P shape, T shape, L shape. That, see, okay, this puzzle was fine. Not a bad puzzle. This right here, this puzzle felt to me not even close to a 4. It was just way too easy. It should not, again, the difficulty markers should go away. They are not helping. They're making everything worse. I dislike it when I think the puzzle's easy and then it ends up hard, obviously, but I also dislike it when I think the puzzle's hard and then it ends up easy. It's just not something you should do. That puzzle would have been more enjoyable if I wasn't at the back of my mind thinking it should be harder than it is. That's all. Gonna just leave the rant for another time. Are all of the puzzles in this area? Let's see. It looks like they're all in that castle. All right, let's find 5s, shall we? Non-boxy. Okay. Okay. There's that. I have a lot of regions to deal with as well. Let's do this here, that. Can I make... I can make some sort of inference. Let's start with this circle here. This piece right here cannot touch either of those circles, and it can't escape out any other way. So it must be these 3 pieces and no more, because that would be a boxy region. And that is the inference I can make. Can I do another one? This circle is going to touch that triangle, right? Let's make a different color. This circle here can't escape that way, can't escape that way, can't escape that way. So it must escape through here. Then it will have touched one of these circles, or squares. Shapes are hard, okay? I'm working on shapes. I got colors, now I'm working on shapes. I'm going to go to numbers soon. I have to block that, right? And this could move up one more space. That's as far as it would go. I don't know which one of these it takes, but this is a new shape, new color. This color is going to be this teal color. Now, if I move this to the square, we're going to break the puzzle. And here's why. Because now I need to get a triangle, and the only triangle is here, and now the square is by his lonesome. So that is now the yellow's position. Can't go that way, can't go that way. We got to take that piece and that one, and this piece is done. Nothing we can do about it. This square right here, that's got an interesting little issue, because this square here can't take either of those 2 squares, so it must take that triangle. Well, now this square must take that triangle. Let's give you blue. And this square must take that circle. Is there any other way I can interpret this? I don't think that's possible. Let's take that right there. So somebody's going to touch that circle, but it's not clear yet who. Excuse me. Oh, I see. The blue can't take this circle. The reason the blue can't take the circle is then it can't take either of those circles, and we have a boxy region. And that gets you killed. So we're going to block that. This one takes the circle, and now the red is complete. Blue comes up. It's got to take one of these two, and it can't be this one because it makes a boxy region. So we got to take that. That's that. Over here, if I take that triangle, then I make a boxy region because I can't move anywhere else. So that's got to be there. This is now, let's make this green. Bring this out. So this yellow's done. I have to take this triangle because if I don't, how do I get out? So this triangle's taken. It could be this square or it could be that square. No. If I don't take this square, this is a new color. And then where does it go? So this is taken here. I could take this piece. I could take that one. We're not totally sure yet. This needs to take a triangle. The only one that can reach is up here. So it's got to either bend there or there. This circle right here has to take that square. Because the only way it takes this square instead is by massively breaking the puzzle. So we have to take that square. Now, if we take this triangle instead of that one, this circle is broken. So we have to take this triangle, and then we have to stop there, because otherwise we make a boxy region. Now, these are all taken by the same unit up here, right? So, and then we can't take anything there, so we have to take that region. This purple is now set. Let's see. Take that. Take this region. The reason I'm taking this region here is because I'm looking into the future. I'm seeing if I don't take this region, then who will? This triangle has to take this square, right? It can't reach that one without going through its brother. So it's got to take that, but it's got to bend somewhere, so it's here. Now we have a boxy region left. But if I take this, then we don't have a boxy region left, and I'm allowed to move on to Valhalla. Good puzzle. That's a good one. It's felt a little bit easier than 5. That is my gripe, and I'm going to let it sit. If you've watched multiple of my videos, you know I have already been yelling at video games like an idiot about this. So that's got to go. Well, okay. We got to have this happen, and then we've also got to have this happen. But if this is the same region, we have a boxy shape, so we do have to block it here, right? I'm going to imagine we don't. I'm going to imagine we put a wall there, right? If we imagine we put a wall here, this has to happen. This corner piece does have to move out, and now we have a box. Therefore, that's blocked. We have this, meaning this is a different region. We could just stop it there. We could just be happy with what we have. This region is done. We're not done, but this is decided. This is going to be interesting. How do I make this not break? Because I've now got to bring these up. What is the... Can I put the walls here? I can put the walls here. No, hold on. This wall can't go there. The reason is if I bring this piece over to the left, we have a boxy region in there. So this wall has to be here. Now this, we're going to have a wall there. I can't, this has to now be part of this region. But if I put the wall here, right, we have to do this now. Hold on, I gotta do that to make it not boxy. If I put the wall here, we are forced into a box. So the walls have to be like this, and we have to go out like so. Dead end. This straightaway is now up and down. We have to do this to avoid boxiness in that area. Dead end. This dead end can't move down. If this dead end moves down, then it is a box. So it has to move up, and it's gonna have to do some other stuff. So this has to be that region. I'm just doing a lot of these cyan and blue colors. I want it to be hard to distinguish if you have color blindness. This is my hate message to the colorblind community. Okay, so this is set. Could this all just be one region? It could all just be one region. I don't see why it wouldn't yet. But it can't move up here, so this has to be. No, okay, so this can't connect here. And the reason this can't connect here is that we will die. This piece has to be a corner like so. But if we bend the corner in, then we're going to have a box shape. We can't bend the corner in, so we have to bend it down like so. I'm going to rename this to blue. That's got to be there. This has to move up. Now this corner's got to be like that. And that's done. This piece now has to bend in here. This is done. Could this be all part of one region? No, because it'd be on the other side of itself. So that's done. There you go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This region here is done. So now in here, I've got to have 2 regions. And I think I know how to make them. Actually, I think I see 2 ways to make them. I see 2 ways to make this work. What's wrong? This is one. I see. Oh, I'm stupid. Corner rule. This is. I've got to make this come out. That's got to go. I'm dumb. This has to. There you go. I'm a big dumb. Let's do this. Separate those. That's it. That's the ending piece right there. I just didn't see that piece moving up. Good work. I'm liking these so far. This is a fun area. I'm knocking on wood that it stays that way. Non-boxy mismatch. Okay, this elbow is interesting then because we have 3 options for this elbow. Option 1 leaves this piece out. Option 2 leaves that piece out. Option 3 leaves that piece out. Now this one could work. It just gives us our domino and our single piece. This one gives a domino and a single. And this one does not. This one gives us more options. So it doesn't quite fill it in, but it does give me some constraints. This piece being an L shape, there's a couple. This is an L shape, this is an L shape, and this is an L shape. Now this L shape gives me a domino and a single, which would really constrict me here. I have a feeling domino single is not the way to go. The reason being, there are 2 equal solutions. If I did this solution, right, I would have this set. Oh, hold on, non-boxy. Could I potentially remember what area of the game I'm in? I was just thinking of mismatch. I have to also do non-boxy. So if I do this, I can't have this region. I have to have this, and now we have 2 of the same size. I can't do this because I have boxy regions. So it is, in fact, this shape of the elbow. So now I have to have something bigger than that comes out. And it can't be part of this. This has to be its own thing. This L now can't be like that because it makes boxy. Can't be like this. So it's got to be this or that. And the difference is what direction we come out with this piece. So there or there. So yeah, I can't avoid this piece. I got to move up this way. And then this piece has to be a new region, and it's not going to be that one. Let's make it red. It's got to come out. So this piece can't move up. Got to move down. This can't move up. So somebody's here, and it's not. It's got to be the red. The red's got to go there, which means I can't move this down because then we have that problem. So that is the elbow piece, or the L piece. That's that. Either way on here is fine. One of these 2. I don't think I can do this because I don't think there's a way to break these up in any satisfying arrangement because I could make one of them, and I can't make one of a single piece because it's boxy. I have to break them up into 3s, and there's just no way. So that's not going to happen. I don't think I can do any of this. I think I have to block this off. Right? Because if I move this in at all, can't have it all 6. I have to break it into pieces. Can't have a single or a double, so they have to be at least 3. The only 3 I can make is an elbow because it's unboxy. Therefore, yes, there's going to be a wall there. I can't bring it up. I have to bring it down. Now this piece. Okay, yeah, this will just work. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big piece down there. I'm going to put a C shape in here, and then I'm going to put an F shape there, and we're going to lose because, we're going to do it like this. There we go. Thought I had to make 2 shapes. I have to make just 1. Yeah, that's fine. Fine puzzle. Another 5. Let's bring it on. Area numbers with this kind of stuff. Let's see. I can make area numbers meet each other. That's totally allowed. It's legal in this planet. This 4. It's got to be matched on this other side. Now what I can't do is make this 4 an O shape. It's not going to happen. The reason would be this is an O shape, and now this is an O shape, and that is impossible to do. So this 4 could be an L shape, right? Like L shape is totally fine. Let's see, how about here to here? This just feels like the place to start, but I'm not sure. S shape would be that. Is there any other way? Like L shapes could be there too. There's a lot of options here. Let's put this 3's got to go somewhere. Don't know where yet. This is 4 touch that. If I bring this up, we have an L shape. How do we get an L shape in here? There's plenty of ways. Oh, I should also know I can't make this shape because of non-box. I keep forgetting the main rule of the event. No boxes. It's not like the devs are hiding this rule. I'm just not looking over here. And it's not like there's too many. I don't think 4 rules is too many. It can get a little unwieldy. This is basically just one rule. This one is obvious from looking at the page. Actually, they all are except for this one. So I think that's part of it, is that these 3 rules I can see on the board, and so my mind is tricked into thinking they're the only rules when I have to remember one. There's certain rules you just have to remember. This is the furthest the 7 could move in. It would cause a problem with this, making a 7, right? How do I make 7 in here? But, that can go all the way. This is the furthest the 7 can move this way. Shapes can I have? If it's non-boxy, I can only have S, T, and L. A T shape would be here. And then there's... I see. If I make a T shape, the only way to make a T shape this 4 is this way. The only way to make it is here, and there's no T shape there. Therefore, this is not a T shape. L shape is possible. S shape is possible. I mean, there's multiple ways to make the S shape there, but down here, this is the only way. It leaves a single piece. Making the L shape, there's multiple ways up here. This is not it, by the way, but there's multiple ways to make an L shape. I'm just going to say, because I'm looking down here. Hold on a second. Going back to the S shape, I think we can break out the S shape doesn't work. Because the S shape can go this way or that way, up here. These are fine, but down here, the only way I can make the S shape work is this. We can't have a single piece here because it'll always be a box. That's a rule I should remember. It should be tattooed on my forehead so I can read it in the mirror. We can't have an S shape. It's going to have to be an L shape, and it can't be this way. It's going to have to be this way, right? We have to have a T, S, or L. T doesn't work because it doesn't go. S shape doesn't work because it leaves a box. So L shape is going to have to be like this. That can't be right. It's going to have to be some other way. Can I do... Oh, I can do S shape this way. I mean, S shape this way. L shape doesn't work here because it leaves a box. L shape doesn't work here because it leaves a box. S shape I thought was only this way, but I forgot I can actually bring it right here. This is the only way I can do it, which moves this an L shape here. So I got to put an L shape in this spot, which is going to have to touch this 4. It's going to have to touch like that. This has to be a non-boxy shape. That's a non-boxy shape. No. No, 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 no. This doesn't work. Because now we have a boxy shape. Okay. I got to review this. This is... I'm really confused at this spot, and I don't know why. I have to have these match. It can't be a T shape. This is the only way to make it. Because then we have to put a T shape here. That's just not going to work. If I make this an L shape, let's just put, I don't care what this one is, this L shape. This creates a box, not possible. This creates a box down here. Because this 4 can never touch that spot. So we'd end up with a box. So L shape doesn't work. It would be S shape. This doesn't work. It has to be this. But the problem is now, we have to make an L shape here. We'd have to make an elbow, and now we have to have an S shape here, and there's nowhere for it to fit. So there's clearly something I don't understand, and I do not know what it is. Is there any other way to make a T shape? Any other way to make an L shape? This way? This could work, because now we don't have to have a box here. But no, this works. But now I have to have an L shape here. I can't do it this way, but I could do it like so or like that. Well, no, because this 7 is going to be straight line. So it has to be like that. And then this has to move up into this space. This works. This works. Okay. There was just an arrangement I didn't see. Now this one, could this be an L? This can be an L shape. Seems fine. Could be a T shape. Seems fine. No, this, hold on. This piece has to be something different. If the 4 is blocked here, then this piece has to take, yeah, this piece can't be a straight line. It would have to take that spot the 4 is out. So the 4 does have to move up. But the 4 can't move over because now we have a box in here no matter what we do. So that's got to stop. So we can make an L shape, we can make an S shape, we can make a T shape. No, I can't make a T shape. S or L. Is there any way this 4 doesn't touch here? No. It's got to touch that spot. There or there. So this is a 4. Now if it's an S shape, is there anybody making an S shape here? Right? The only S shape I can see is that. See what I mean? This is an S shape. That's an S shape, which makes it impossible up here. So no, this is an L shape, which has to go down there. Like so. There's your 6. This has to be... we have to have L shapes in here as well. We just have to, because there's no way. This piece has to move up and bend, and now it can't go any further because we only have 4 spaces in there. So this has to be an L shape. Nothing says it has to be this one. Right? Well, this L shape here, I can bring it this way. I can't bring it that way. So it's, I can bring it down there. Is there any way we have a wall there? No, because then it is this shape of a box. Therefore, these two go together. Now, if I block this, we have a thing. So yeah, this is in fact all together. So it's here or there. Not sure which. So all of this, I believe, this is working out. So I hope this is correct, because if it's incorrect and it's somehow working out, I'll feel like an idiot. I got to take at least one of these 2 pieces. So this 4 can only move at least that far, at most that far, because I got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just one of these pieces doesn't take. It's got to take that one. It can be these 2. It can be these 2. It can be these 2. This can only move in one space, so it has to move at least that far. So I could move this down, but they just have to be different shaped 4s, which is going to happen, I think. Yeah, because I either have a T-shape. No, hold on. I can't have a T-shape here. Whatever it is. Like, this piece is either part of this 4 or it's not a 4 at all, because this 4's got to move in. Is there any way this is a wall? I'd have to move this here. I wonder what these Gemini, these deltas are doing here, because I'm not in any danger of recreating the shape, right? Because this 4, well, yeah, this 4 can't be part of that because the 7 is nowhere to go. So yeah, we know that the 4s are going to have to bend in. The 5s now, who knows? Like, I can bring this up, which would force me to move in, I guess. Let me just think about how I'm going to fill these in without creating holes. So like, I could do this like so. If I put a wall here, I have to put 2 pieces in here, and I can't do that. If I put 2 pieces in here, I'll always create a boxy shape, right? Because there's this, that's a boxy shape. There's this, 2 boxy shapes. There's this, 2 boxy shapes. Therefore, this is taken, and I need one piece that doesn't leave a boxy shape. It's this one right here. This is a boxy shape I have to use, like so. This 7 is complete, 4 is complete. 5 comes down. Who knows if it's part of this 5? If it isn't part of this 5, I can do whatever I like, right? Well, let's think about this shape here. If I bring this, if I put a wall here, this 5's got to come in, and then no matter what I do, I have a boxy shape. Because if I do this, I have a box. I could say, well, I bring this in, it's still a box. This leaves a box, which still has a box there. So the 5 does connect here. Could move in here and then leave a non-boxy shape there. No, I can't move this in, because now this creates boxiness, which means this is all one unit, and then the delta here is in fact used. So I got to move this down 1 more space. This 5 is going to touch both of these. No getting around it. So now there's a boxy shape here if we don't fill it with the 5 or the 4. These all have to be filled. This can only fill one of these spaces. I could do both. No. If I filled both here, we'd be in trouble. The reason is now with us go here, we have a box. You think, well, we'll just unfill the box. It's going to be an elbow. We can't do that. So I have to fill one of these two here. That's got to be blocked, which means I think... Yeah, this is how it's going to go. Oh, hold on. Wrong one. There we go. And then a T shape here. Nice. That was actually pretty cool. I really like that one. How many more do we got? Only got 3 more. Let's power through. I got a 6, a 7. We're saving 7 for last. 7s tend to be really good. And we have a... Let's get the 4 out of the way. What are we doing? Non-boxy mismatch. All right. We're forced to make an elbow here because we can't make boxes. So I got 9, 10, 8, and 10. I can't make elbows anymore. This piece has to escape. This piece also has to escape. And whether or not it bends into here, it has to move up. It just has to. Because if it doesn't move up, we have an elbow. So it's got to move up. That is what I know about that piece. Do I know anything about these other pieces? This will all be one unit, though. That's the thing. I don't know if... I'm going to... For now, I'm going to color them the same color to see if that helps me think of them as one unit. Yeah, this one looks really wide open. It looks harder than the one I just did, and it's telling me it's easier. I just like that so much. So, down here, this piece, we can't put a wall here. You might think, well, we can still make it non-boxy, but now we have boxy regions there, so this has to bend here. And then I could do this and make an L shape there. I could do this and make... If I put this piece here, I have to put a wall. If I don't, if I move this piece here, we have another T shape. That's not going to work, so we have to fill in. But now we have an... Excuse me, we have an elbow shape, so no. We have to do this. Means we have a new region down here. This region has to bend, and now it's got to take that piece to avoid boxes. So we have an S shape and an L shape. That's set. So now I can't have an L shape in here or an... If I take this, it's a T shape, which is fine. If I take this, we have to keep going because I can't make an L tetromino. So where else can we do some work? Over here, we've got to have 2 separate pieces. Don't know which ones they're going to be. If I put a wall here, though, this is an elbow shape. We can't do that. So this has to move down. If I put a wall here, we would have to do this, but we could just keep it. We'd be fine. So I don't know if that's true. This has to move up. Let's just think about walls again. If I put a wall here, we're going to have an elbow shape. So we got to do that. If I put a wall here, then we're going to have an issue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 spaces total in here. If I have 3 regions, they're all going to be elbows because 3 regions, they have to be at least 3 in order to be non-boxy, but we already have the elbow taken care of. Therefore, this region is also purple, right? If I make this wall. It just takes this, and now we have another elbow. Therefore, blue is take that, has to also take that. Now, if it takes this region, it would just have to take another region. Can I block here? No, because that creates an L, which we have. So I have to take that one. If I take this region, I still have to take that one to avoid the L. So no matter what, I have to take that region. And then I have to either take that one or that one. If I take this region, we have an L. So I have to take this region. We have to have a T shape and a C shape up here. And I hope I'm correct. So now I can't take this piece because it becomes a T shape. So I gotta take that one, which means now that these 2 are separate regions. There's no way these 2 blue regions are the same. So we're gonna make this the purple one. Purple's got to come out and out again. This has to be the blue region. Now the blue region can't stop here because it's an elbow. Can't stop here. So we got an F and a V piece for our pentominoes. And then over here, we gotta have 2 more pentominoes, maybe? I think this is just it. Yep. Didn't have to work that out much. I was just like, it's pentominoes. I've taken care of all this other stuff. It's just got to be this. That was a neat one. All right, 2 more. A 6 and a 7. I am shivering in anticipation. So all I know is the non-boxy and then this rule here. Dang. Okay, these two are the same region. They have to move. So, like, there has to be something like this. Now, the trouble is, if I move this one down, right? If I say this one moves down, this one can no longer move down because now we have regions that are the same and different. This would have to move up. If this one moves down, now we would have to do this. We'd have to bend here. And then how on earth would I make this anything? Like, I can't bend it there. That creates a boxy region. The only way to bend it the other way is to bring it all the way out like this. And now we still have boxy regions. So I think we have to start like so. Oops, not like that, with walls here. This got to come up. Now this won't come down, it's got to bend here, which means whatever bend this is doing is something like that. So we got to have a bendy region in here. At least that far. So this one, we got to have a different region here, which has to do some... now we have something here, which... I'm going to make this... There, these two are the same. So this now... This is a bend... we have to bend it like this. Right? It has to go this far. Which is not the same as that. This is the same as that. I'm pretty sure we have to do this. And now this is the bend we have to start with. And this is done. So, this is the same region. So now, can it be this? It can. If it's not that direction, it has to be all the way up here. Which creates a box. So it is, in fact, here. This is correct. Now what? This region's got to move up, which makes a similar, this is the same region. But this is a different one. That's a different region. It's got to go at least that far. So it's got to move up. If I move up again, if I move up this far, yeah, hold on. I don't think I move up that far. I think if I put a wall here, we're in trouble. Because then if I move up, if I put a wall there, now I have to have a region here. This can't be, this has to move up until it can bend. And it can't bend here. So it have to go here, but it can't bend there. It would have to bend here. And now there's no way to fill this in. So this has to bend there. Doesn't mean, yeah. I gotta figure out what to do bending-wise here now. Because this has to move up again. So I need to have a space. Like I can have something like this. I think it's actually just going to be it right here. Nice. Awesome. I'm T-posing on the haters. This felt way easier than a 6. So like, I feel kind of good for solving that, but I really wish that had been harder. That was way easier than 6. I mean, that was like a 4 to me. Dang, it really is important to not put difficulty marks into games. I've played lots of puzzle games, and it just seems to be the thing to do. And it just seems like such a risk. You can never improve your game with difficulty markers. You can only make it worse. Because every time that the difficulty doesn't match my experience, I have a worse time. And it's not like the devs are stupid by putting that in there. It's not like, oh, these devs thought it was a 6, but it's really a 4. Ha ha, what a dumbass. How do you know? Everyone has different experiences. And so by putting these markers in, you are guaranteeing that the vast majority of your players are going to have a subpar experience with your game because nobody has the same opinion on difficulty. And sure, if there were only 10 puzzles in the game, it's not that big a deal, but there's 1,000 or so, and at least 30% of them don't feel like the difficulty marker is correct. And that's over 300 puzzles that I'm just going to go like, what? Just what are you doing? Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Find another way to guide the player through the game so that they go in appropriate order of difficulty. Because by doing this number, you're sort of telling the player to go in the order of this number, and that order is way off. It's just way off. All right, let's do this 7. It's going to be a good puzzle. I'm going to love it. I'm going to be happy. That's what's going to happen. I'm manifesting that into existence. Okay, so boxing area numbers, Geminis. Yeah, kind of seems like all the good puzzles have the same rules. Geminis and deltas are good rules. Area numbers are good rules. All right, let's start. I'm going to start with just area numbers all have the same colors, because that way I can think of them as connecting to each other if they're close enough to that. Hold on, let's go back to this 3 color I like to use. Any other 3s? Let's say 5s are purple today. Color doesn't really matter. I just tend to fall back on certain things as visual shorthand. So this 6 now has to be part of that 6. There's no getting around it, because if the 6 isn't part of the 6, then it has to escape through here, and now the 6 is nowhere to go. So it is part of the 6, and we can't put a wall there. Because if we put a wall there and make this part of the 6, we have a boxy region that we've left over. So we have to move this in and make that all one region. Now, we can't put a wall here, right? These two have to go together, and they have to be part of the 6. Because if we put a wall here, the 6 can't, there's not enough space. And put a wall here, it's a boxy region. We gotta do this. We can't make this the unit, because then there'll be a boxy region there. We can't take neither of these spaces, because that will be a boxy region no matter what we do. Therefore, we have to take one space. It won't be that one, it'll be this one. That's our 6 region. This 3 must move down and bend. Okay, that's a good start. How about here? This 6 must be a part of that one, because if it isn't, then it's not enough space. And if I put a wall here, we're going to leave a boxy region. Therefore, these have to connect like so. From there, I can't put a wall here, because then we have a boxy 6. We'd have to do that. So this 6 moves up, and it's not a part of this 6, because then we have a boxy. Hold on. It's a boxy region. So this 6 must escape this direction and continue. Must be these 4 at least. It could take these 2 and we'd be fine. This 4 must move to the left 1 space now. It's either going to take these 2 or these 2. And there's no other option. It can't take these 2. We got to make an elbow shape. This is one way. Actually, this is the only way to make the elbow shape. If I move it down, we are going to have a straight line, which is boxy region, and that is against the law. We have to do this. We can't move this in. We have boxy regions. It's got to move up. Also can't move it in. This is our 6. This 6 now can't take this region. So if we take this region, we leave a boxy shape, no matter what we do. Therefore, it is that shape. The 5 is going to have to move in to avoid boxiness. This is now a 3. This 5 has a lot of options. Whatever's down here can't be a box. It could be part of this 5 if we want to lose the puzzle immediately. So whatever's in this region right here cannot be part of the 5 because it creates a box. Therefore, it must be a new region at least 6 in size, because it's got to take all of this. And then it has to take... it's going to have to take all of these, right? So this region here, I'm going to bring it up, right? If I bend it to the left, now I have a boxy region. I have to take them both. If I said it's this one, I still have to take both of these. So no matter what, I take all of these with this region. Now, I can't avoid taking this piece, because then 5 has to take it, and now 5 can't bend out of here. So I do, in fact, have to take all of this with this huge-ass region. This one's got to move up. 4 now has to move down this way, but it can't extend here, because now it is a boxy region. So we got to bend it as an L shape, which we can't have an L shape here. This 5... these two 5s have to touch. The reason is if they don't touch, or sorry, these 5s can't touch. Excuse me. If they touch, we have an orphaned region there, or we have an orphaned region here, both of which are boxes. So they cannot touch. We have to have an F shape here, and then we have to bring this one out. Now, this cannot be an F shape. That's all I know about it. So far, this all seems good. This 5's got to move out this way, and now it has some options as to whether to go up or down. This elbow has a few options. So does this one. It's got quite a bit going on. This elbow actually, this can't be the elbow, because now what do we do here? So we can't move to the right. Yeah. No, we could if we move up. Yeah, it's possible. We just can't move this way, but if we did this way, we just move the 5 in and we're... No, hold on. Yeah, if I move it this way, this is the only way to the elbow. We have a Gemini or a delta break. So I can't move this to the right. Which means I can't make this, because that's an orphan cell. I can do it this way or this way. This way, which means this, oops, this piece does in fact touch there. Now if I bring it out here, this has to be the triomino here, because we can't, with this this delta means they can't be touching each other. Whereas this way creates no restriction. Do I know anything more about this? I feel like if I know a little bit more, somewhere down here will be fine. This 4 has to escape, because if it doesn't, we have an O shape, which is a box. Once again, that's against the law. We can't have a T shape like this. We have an orphan cell. Can't have an S shape like this. the most we could do it like that. But we could also say none of them are taken. This 4 can't bend into here. There's not enough space for the 5. Therefore, the 4 has to also extend out this way. It doesn't help me. Okay, where else can I find something to do? Hold on, how about this 4? This 4 has to move here. And now this 4 can't move here. This 4 moves to the right. Then it has to be an L shape, and we have an L shape problem. So the 5 has to move up. Now the 4's got to move out. Now it can be an L shape here. Yeah, it has to be. Because if I put a wall here, right? There's a couple options. Put a wall here. We have an L shape, or we have an S shape, which seems fine until you realize this 5 can't extend there even orphan cell. We have to move here. We could do an L shape here because it's not touching the delta, or we can make a T shape. Either way is fine. So now this can't be an orphan cell. It's got to be part of this. And this is the restriction. Who's going to go into this little crevice? This 5 now is somewhat restricted. If it moves all the way out here, it still's got to take those 2 spaces, and then it still has to take that space. Now this is an orphan space. The 5's got to take it. The 4's got to be an L shape here. Now this 5 will touch this space. Now it's possible this is just an elbow piece, but it's also possible the 5 takes all of it. I don't know for sure. This is a new shape. So like what I know here means I should be able to solve this error because nothing up here is going to help me down here. So I should be able to solve this. If I were to say the 5 doesn't go there, this could just be an elbow. Like I see a version of this that works, right? I make an elbow piece here, put a 5 there, then I put elbows here, and now I have a 5 shape like this. This all just works. And I think this must be the only answer because there's nothing up here that's going to influence this. So I think that's right. Now up here, we have a box in here. So if the 5 does this, we are screwed. So 5's got to move in. Now the 5 could take all of this, or we could have an elbow piece. I don't know. What do I do here? If I make this the L shape, I gotta have an L shape here. Where would I put this L shape? If I make an L shape here, I think I'm screwed. Because if I say the L shape is not part of this one, if I put a wall here, then I gotta make an L shape somehow starting here. This blocks in the 4. This makes an orphan cell here. So I'd have to bring it up. Now, this seems to work. It's not immediately breaking anything. How about up here? If I were to put a wall there, we'd have a V shape. If I don't put a wall, if I put a wall here, that's a little bit more interesting because now I can't do that. I couldn't do this. I'd have to make a big L shape here. But then I would have to, this would be tricky. I would have a V shape, and I can't put a V shape here. So I have to bring this 5 out this way. Now I could make a P shape. I could make a V shape. Because now a V shape can be like this. Why doesn't this work? I'm trying to think why this doesn't work. I don't think it's gonna be that. I just know I can't put a wall there. Because then it means that the V shape here is in such a way we can't do it. So that does have to go. It means I'm no longer in any danger of making an F shape here, because the F shape would be like that. So this is the shape. Now, if I were to block here, I would have a T shape, and now this one would be... Yeah, this isn't going to work either. So I think I got to take that shape. Now, can I take P shape? P shape works. V shape. I'm gonna see why the V shape doesn't work. I don't think it works, but I think I have to look a little far ahead to see why. Because I think this is what ends up with the V shape. Now up here, we just make a shape in here and make a 5. Oops, this is what we would do. Now the trouble comes in this line. How are we gonna make this work? Because whatever is in here has to bend somewhere. It either takes this spot or that spot. If it takes this spot, the 4 is trapped. If it takes this spot, the 4 is now an O shape, which is a box. So I think that is how we're supposed to get that bit of knowledge. So I think here we have to make it a P shape. Now there's multiple ways to make a P shape here. We got a lot of this going on. But now this shape is screwed. So let's see. If I did this and I said here, what shape can I put here? Can't put an S shape here, can't put a T shape. It is going to be an L shape. I think this is the safest L shape to make. But then I got to do something here. This isn't going to work. What if I made a T shape? No, this doesn't work. I gotta take that. If I make V, we know this doesn't work. This also, I see. There we go. This is what it is. That's there, because this doesn't have to be part of this shape. Now I can just do this, make a 5, and then I put a T shape here. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Good puzzle. Don't know if I'd say it's the hardest ones ever, but it's good. It's definitely the hardest one in the non-boxy section. Like, that at least felt right. That felt right. That felt good. And that brings me to a good ending point. Man, whether or not I have a good time or bad time is extremely dependent on the rule set I'm using. Some rule sets are just frustrating and others are really fun to work with. The boxy, non-boxy stuff tends to be fun to work with. Not so much loopy or bricky, none of that kind of stuff. But I will have to go back to those areas eventually, unfortunately. So I will see you then. In the meantime, have yourselves a good one. Goodbye.